morning, everybody. I'm Stephanie Silverstein, the author of Shades of Gay, joining you on this Spirit Day. I'm not coming to you today as the author of an LGBT novel, or as an LGBT activist, or even as an expert in anything. I'm coming to you today as a human being. As you read before the credits rolled, LGBT youth are 4 times more likely than their straight peers to attempt suicide, and are also more highly prone to drug addiction, alcohol misuse, and other problems. I'm here today because we have to mourn 4, or is it 5, or I think it's even 6 now, kids who killed themselves this past month simply because they were either non-heterosexual or somebody thought they were. And people thought it was okay to bully them because of that. As you know, my interest in suicide prevention began because my best friend Gavi was almost one of these statistics. 2 years ago, she was right where all these people are, thinking that God hated her because of who she was, thinking that she couldn't be bisexual and also be a good person or a spiritual person or a person who has a connection with God, thinking that there was something wrong with her that needed to be fixed. All of this needs to stop. The good news is that there are things that all of us can do to help LGBTQ youth. It doesn't take a degree in psychology or a license or any special knowledge to reach out to a child today and to save a life. So let's begin. I want to take you through 5 things that you can do today and ask you to commit to doing at least one of them. Remember, she who saves a life saves the world entire. Let's save a life today. I've been hearing a lot of people recently saying something that really disturbs me, and that's, why are we focusing on LGBTQ suicide? Why are kids who are non-heterosexual so special? Why don't we just try to prevent anybody from killing themselves? And my answer to that is, get your facts. You need these at your fingertips to answer people who say things like this. People who may or may not be well-meaning and who don't understand why we have to reach out to LGBTQ youth. I've said it before and I'll say it again. LGBTQ kids are 4 times more likely than their straight counterparts to attempt suicide. More likely to be depressed. More likely to struggle with drug or alcohol addiction. If everybody who was a teenager struggled with these problems at the same rate, then we wouldn't need a separate suicide prevention program. But when kids are killing themselves at an alarming rate because they are not heterosexual, or because they are not gender conforming, or because they are not accepted in society, then something needs to be done about that. By the way, the statistics are even worse for transgender youth. I was reading recently that 41% of kids who identify as transgender attempt suicide. 41%, nearly half. Simply because their body and their gender don't match. Oh, and in case you're worried that we're leaving the straight kids out, one of our suicide victims this past month, Billy Lucas, did not identify as gay. Not every kid who kills themselves because of anti-LGBTQ suicide or anti-LGBTQ bullying is gay. Some of them are bullied relentlessly just because other people think they are, or just because they're different in some way that makes people think that they belong in the same non-human category that they think gay people belong in. So by preventing LGBTQ suicide, we are preventing all youth suicide. Make sure you get these facts. Make sure you remember them. Make sure you share them whenever anybody questions why this should even be an issue. I'd like to share with you one very simple thing that we all can do every day to help LGBTQ youth. and that is share the information about the Trevor Project. In case you haven't heard of the Trevor Project, they are the only national LGBTQ-oriented suicide hotline in the United States. They have counselors manning their phone lines 24 hours a day to talk to LGBTQ kids in crisis and their friends and family. The phone number for the Trevor Project is 1-866-488-7386. That's 1-866-488-7386. If you know somebody who you think could use emergency help, who you think might be thinking about killing themselves, or who is otherwise struggling because of their sexual or gender orientation, give this number to them. Even if you don't think you know anybody, post this number wherever you think youth might see it. Post it on your Facebook page. Post it on your Twitter page. Post it everywhere. Post it. Make sure that our kids know about this resource. Make sure you know about this resource. And don't forget that if you are the parent or the teacher of an LGBTQ youth and you're not sure how to support them or how to help them, or you're worried about them, you can call the Trevor Project too, and they'll be willing to help you out. Besides posting the number, there's one more thing that everybody needs to do if they possibly can. That is, take out your PayPal card or your credit card or your checkbook and write out a check for $15 to the Trevor Project. I'm not affiliated with them, and they didn't ask me to do this, but I think it's important. I read in one of their brochures that each phone call they make costs $15. $15 to save a life. I know that we can't all afford even that much, but if we possibly can, please donate $15 today. And if you can, please donate as much as you can. One of the most important things we can do for our kids is speak up against discrimination whenever we can. Part of the problem, part of the reason that LGBTQ kids are killing themselves at alarming rates is because it's become okay to discriminate against them in school and outside of school. If you follow the news, you know that there are debates about policies such as Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which forbids gays and lesbians from openly serving in the military. And there are no employment or housing discrimination protections for LGBTQ people. LGBTQ people cannot marry same-sex partners, and on and on and on. I'm going to get to all that in a minute, because I think it's important. I think that hearing day in and day out that you are not a full member of society, that once you grow up, you will not have the same rights as everyone else, contributes to our youth's sense of despair. So before I get to that, there's one very simple thing you can do. And that's speak out against the simplest of discriminatory language. If you have a teenager, or you spend time around teenagers, you might have heard them say about a TV show, or a piece of furniture, or even a school assignment, "Oh, that's so gay. I hate it." You might not even thought anything about this language. You might have thought it was some new, harmless slang where gay now means stupid, or ugly, or undesirable. But think about what it would feel like if you were a young gay person and you heard your classmates always saying, "Oh, that show's so gay. Oh, that assignment's so gay. Going to school is so gay." Think about how that makes you feel. If you hear teenagers or anybody talking like this, please say something. Don't just ignore it or dismiss it as harmless slang. Point out that that language is discriminatory and it's wrong. Now, people often think that this is silly or not a big deal, or that we're all being oversensitive by dealing with it. So let me get a couple of things straight, so to speak. We are not killing ourselves. Our youth are not killing themselves because people are saying that's so gay. Not directly, anyway. But it certainly contributes to their lowered self-esteem and to their feelings of worthlessness and feelings of not being accepted. It's a form of bullying, even if it doesn't seem like it, and even if the speaker doesn't intend it to be. Don't use that phrase, and don't let others do it.